Hi everyone, my name is Megan. I am a student at the University of Findlay studying occupational therapy. And in my last video, I talked about how to write a check. And so for this video, I'm going to be talking about how to balance your checkbook. A check register is kind of like a diary, but for your checks, is a recording of all your withdrawals and all of your deposits. It's important to know because it tells you how much money is actually available in your checking account, so you don't overdraw your balance. It also helps you keep track of all the activities, so you would be able to spot any errors or even fraudulent activity. There are many different forms you could use to keep track of this. I have a form that is from the Huntington website, and it walks you through how to keep track of it. I'll put a link of this in the description. But the form I am going to be using is a little bit simpler, and for me it's a little bit easier to read, and so we will get started with that. The first thing that you will do is you will put your starting balance, and you want to put the date as well. So I put today's date, my starting balance, and then in the column where it says balance, you will put your starting balance, and for simplicity, I am going to have my starting balance be $2,000. You're then going to see the box that says check number or code. So you can either write the check number, or if it's a code, you'll see that there are codes here up at the top that you can refer to. And then let's say you have a direct deposit, then you would write DD, you would put the date, and then you could write what the direct deposit was for. And because it is a direct deposit, you will then put it into the plus sign, how much it was, and then you're going to add that to your balance. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I have written direct deposit for the code, and then I wrote the date, and then for the transaction description, you just can write whatever you put for the memo or whatever's going to help you know what that is. So I put ABC employer. And then because it is a deposit, you're going to put it under the deposit column where there is a plus sign, and I'm saying it was $1,500. Then you're going to go over to your balance and you're going to put plus 1,500, and then you're going to add the numbers in your column, and then I got 3,500, and I wrote that in the line below. So then when I am adding my next column, I'm just going to skip a line. So the next example I have is if I were using a debit card. So I wrote DC as my code, and then I wrote the date, and then the transaction description will be the grocery store. So then because it is a withdrawal and I'm using my debit card, it's going to be in the minus column, and I'm saying it was $90. So then you go over to your balance, you subtract 90, and 3,500 minus 90 is 3,410. So the next column, I am doing a bill payment. So I wrote BP as my check code number. I wrote the date. It is for my Netflix account, and it will be $12 in the payment column. So it is a negative. So then I will subtract my previous balance from $12, and that gives me $3,398 total. So you would continue doing this for all your payments, and then you want to reconcile your own records against your bank statement. So the bank statement you get through the mail or online, you can compare your check register against your monthly bank statement or online banking history, again, to make sure there are no errors made. And it's also a way to check for fraudulent activity. So then what you can do is you see where there is a check mark. As you're going through your bank history, and you see that, okay, yep, there was the deposit made by my employer on this date for $1,500, then you can put a check mark. And so that allows you to see what you have done and what you need to do and what's right. So essentially your check register balance and your bank statement ending balance should be equal. If it's not, you want to call your bank about any transactions that you don't recognize. So just some tips that I have for you is to not exclude any transactions. You want to enter all transactions in your check register, even if it is a small amount of interest that your account may have earned and service fees your bank charges you. You want to make a practice of doing this, so it's going to help you avoid any discrepancies when reconciling your bank account. Another tip I have is to record the transactions as they happen. The longer you wait, the more likely you're going to forget about it and you won't write it down. So enter it as it occurs, or at least at the end of each day while that transaction is still fresh in your mind. And also, being able to have a receipt always comes in handy later. So try to have a folder or someplace where you can store your receipts. Again, you don't want to overdraw your account, so don't write a check unless your account has the adequate funds to cover it. So I hope this video was helpful for you. Again, I'm going to put links in the description below of different check registers and templates you could use. So try them out, see which one you like best, and happy checkbooking.